fighter jet-inspired Lamborghinis, mysterious Mercedes that look like they belong in spy movies, Ferraris so rare they make billionaires jealous, and a $600,000 car Ralph bought in the 80s that's now worth over $70 million. This isn't just a collection, it's a hidden world. Ralph Lauren, the man who built a fashion empire from neckties, has assembled one of the most jaw-dropping garages on Earth. A private museum where every car has a story, every story has a legend, and every legend has a price so shocking it'll leave you speechless. Today, we're unlocking that garage, and once you see what's inside, you'll never look at Ralph Lauren the same way again. So buckle up, because from here, it only gets crazier. The vintage legend's 1929 Bentley blower, the survivor. We begin with the oldest jewel, the 1929 Bentley 412-liter blower. This isn't just an old car. It's a warhorse. It roared across the 1930 French Grand Prix, finishing second. Its engine thundered with supercharged force, a sound that shook spectators and etched itself into racing history. But here's what makes it legendary. It survived. Through owners, races, and decades of near obscurity, it ended up in Ralph's hands in 1988. To him, it wasn't just metal. It was a story of survival. When Bentley created 12 replicas in 2020, Ralph wasn't impressed. He didn't want continuation cars, he wanted the one, the only. And that's what he has. Priceless. Untouchable. Eternal, 1955. Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, the butterfly next. A car so beautiful that even standing still, it looks like it's flying. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, nicknamed Papillon, French for butterfly. Its upward opening doors transformed car design forever. And its technology, even crazier. Direct fuel injection in the 1950s, speeds close to 160 mph. This was the spaceship of its time. Ralph doesn't just own one. He owns both the Gullwing and the Roadster. Why? Because for him, design is universal. A curve on a car inspires a curve in a chair, a line in a jacket. To Ralph, cars aren't hobbies, they're pure art. And when he takes this one out, people don't just see a car. They see history flying past. 39. Alfa Romeo 8C 2900 Mille Miglia. The dream now, let's go rarer. Only 4 of these exist. The 1939 Alfa Romeo 8C 2900, built for the legendary Mille Miglia race. Before Ralph owned it, it belonged to collector Bill Seri. But when Ralph restored it, it didn't just shine, it triumphed. In 2005, it took best in class at Pebble Beach. Collectors whispered that it could fetch nearly $20 million. But for Ralph, that wasn't the point. The point was holding on to something so rare it's practically myth. To him, the 8C is more than a car. It's a heartbeat of history. 1938, Bugatti, Type 57SC Atlantic, the Holy Grail, and then the masterpiece. The 1938 Bugatti Type 57SC Atlantic Coupe. Only 4 were ever made. 1 disappeared. That missing one, known as La Voiture Noire, became legend. That leaves just 3. And Ralph owns 1. Experts call it the most beautiful car ever made. Teardrop-shaped body, aluminum curves, a horseshoe grille, a rear end like a boat's tail. If Ralph ever sold it, experts say it could become the most expensive car in history, beating the $142 million Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, but Ralph won't sell. Because this car isn't just money, it's magic. And it's his golden era icon's 1930 Mercedes-Benz SSK Count Trossi. The mystery out of 42 ever built, Ralph owns the rarest Mercedes-Benz SSK. But the twist? Nobody knows who designed its custom body. It was owned by Count Carlo Felice Trossi, who reshaped it into something mysterious, almost sinister. Black curves, long hood, beastly engine. Ralph bought it in the 80s, spent over 5,000 hours restoring it. Now it howls with a 7.1L supercharged engine. When it won Best in Show at Pebble Beach, it wasn't just a victory. It was a resurrection. 1962, Ferrari 250 GTO, the $70 million miracle. Here's the headline grabber. The Ferrari 250 GTO, Ralph bought it in 1985 for $650,000. At the time, that was insane. Today, it's worth over $70 million, one of the greatest car investments in history. But the 250 GTO isn't just valuable, it's sacred. Only 36 were built. You couldn't just buy one. Enzo Ferrari himself had to approve you, and when Ralph got his, he didn't just buy a car. He joined an elite brotherhood, a club of dreamers who own the most exclusive car ever made, 54 Ferrari 375 Plus. The powerhouse only 5 ever made, heavy, flawed, but brutally powerful. The Ferrari 375 Plus didn't have disc brakes, but its 5.0L V12 changed racing forever. It won the 24 Hours of Le Mans and the Carrera Panamericana. It was the first Ferrari to win Le Mans, cementing Ferrari as a racing dynasty. Ralph's? Restored, displayed, admired. Worth over $18 million Jaguar D-Type XKSS XK120. The British Beauty's Ralph's British corner is just as powerful. 1955 Jaguar D-Type. Once raced, once crashed, painted in British racing green. One of the rare long-nose models, worth over $20 million. Jaguar XKSS. Only 16 exist because a factory fire destroyed the rest. Steve McQueen owned one. Ralph owns another. That fire made it legend. Jaguar XK120. Alloy Roadster, once the fastest production car in the world. Only 120 aluminum versions exist. Ralph's is custom olive green. Each Jaguar tells a story of triumph and tragedy. And Ralph collects those stories like treasures. Line 55 Porsche, 550 Spider, the Rebel only 90 ever made. The Porsche that gave birth to legends, lightweight, track-built, a car that shaped Porsche's entire DNA. James Dean famously owned one. Ralph owns number 61, it's the Rebel of his garage. A car that screams freedom. Modern supercars and hypercars, 19998 McLaren F1 LM. The Beast only 5 McLaren F1 LMs were ever made. Ralph owns one. It's lighter, lower, and faster than the regular F1. It shares the race-winning DNA of the GTR, and it's one of the few legal to drive on US roads. This isn't just a car. It's a rocket disguised as art. McLaren P1, the hybrid monster 900 horsepower, Euro 60 in 2.8 seconds. A top speed of 217 Mark Ralph bought his McLaren P1 not to collect, but to drive. And when a billionaire says, "I bought this one to enjoy," you know it's special. Ferrari La Ferrari, the hybrid king in 2015, Ralph couldn't resist. The La Ferrari, Ferrari's first hybrid, over 950 horsepower, Formula One electric tech, his glossy black, rare, sinister. One of the crown jewels of his modern collection, Porsche 9 in 18 Spider, double trouble. Most collectors dream of one. Ralph has 2, both with the Weissach package. One was even displayed at his fashion show, blending runways with racetracks. That's Ralph, turning cars into fashion statements. Lamborghini Reventon, the fighter jet only 20 were made. Ralph has one, inspired by the F-22 Raptor. Aggressive, angular, explosive. Its name means small explosion. And with 670 horsepower, it lives up to it. When Ralph stands next to it, dressed in dark clothes, it looks less like fashion and more like war. The secret garage, all these cars rest in a climate-controlled garage in New York. Hidden, protected, a place where history sleeps. But sometimes, Ralph opens the doors. For Pebble Beach, for Villa d'Este, for museums. And when he does, the world gasps. Because these aren't just cars. They're miracles on wheels, each one tells a story. The scent of leather worn by time. The whisper of engines that once roared down open roads. Chrome and curves shaped by hands that believed in art as much as engineering. These machines are frozen moments of history, sculpted in steel, glass, and dreams. Visitors often describe the experience as walking through a cathedral. There is a reverence in the silence, broken only by footsteps echoing on polished floors. Every headlight feels like an eye watching you. Every hood ornament like a guardian angel of a forgotten era. Ralph knows this better than anyone. For him, collecting isn't about ownership. It's about stewardship. He believes these cars are cultural treasures, as important as paintings hanging in the Louvre or statues standing in Rome. That's why he shares them with the world, carefully, selectively, ensuring their stories live on. When one of his cars rolls onto the green lawn at Pebble Beach, crowds don't just admire, they fall silent. They recognize they are in the presence of something irreplaceable, something that transcends horsepower, speed, or price. Because what Ralph has built is more than a collection. It's a legacy. A reminder that beauty, once created, deserves to be preserved. Here's the twist. Ralph Lauren didn't grow up rich. He was a kid from the Bronx. He started selling ties, and he built an empire. And maybe that's why his garage is so powerful, because each car isn't just luxury. It's proof. Proof that dreams can be real. Proof that design can be eternal. Proof that beauty can last forever. So the next time you see Ralph Lauren, remember this. He's not just a fashion icon. He's a guardian of legends. And if you had to pick one car from his garage to take home, which would it be? The 70 million Ferrari? The mysterious Bugatti? Or the fighter jet Lamborghini? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because this isn't the last legendary collection we're going to explore.